Namaste und herzlich willkommen. My name is Chinmay and today I will share with you how to pass the German B1 TELC examination. So just recently I passed my German B1 TELC examination and I couldn't be more excited. It was not an easy journey and there were definitely some moments where I thought I will not make it, but I'm so happy and here I am. I passed the examination and I want to share how I did that with all of you. I passed this examination without taking any German classes specifically for this examination. So about 4 years ago, I did take some German language classes, but for this exam, I only did self-study. What I'm going to share with you is how to pass this examination with self-study, low budget, and from anywhere in the world. The most important part is to understand the structure of the examination. So I bought a bunch of books here and more to know the structure and to study for the examination. I would say there are two important books and you can prepare for this examination just with these two books. You don't have to buy any other book. So the first one here is Certifikat Deutsch B1. I use this book to understand the structure of the examination. So how much point does each module carry and how much time do you have for each module? This is super important. I cannot stress this enough. And then the second book, which is Deutsche Prüfungstraining, Certifikat Deutsch TELC Deutsch B1. This is the book that I use to practice mock test. I will share the link to buy both these books in the description below. So here's the certificate that I got upon passing, where it explains the structure, and it was explained exactly the same way in the book that I bought. So you have basically two main examinations. One is the schriftliche Prüfung, which is the written examination, and then mündliche Prüfung, which is the oral examination. So you can see here in the certificate as well, there's written and there's oral. So it depends on your booking. Sometimes both of these are on same days, but sometimes might happen that your written examination is one day before your oral examination. Now, very important, pay attention to how these two are again divided. So the first part of written examination is Leseverstehen. We can see it here in the certificate. So that is reading understanding. So we'll deep dive into it in a second. But this means that you will be given a text and you have to read the text, and based on that they will ask you a few questions. These are multiple choice questions. Only one answer is correct. So please keep that in mind. Second one is Sprachbausteine, and that means grammatic. So these are the grammar questions. Again, that is divided into two parts. We will get into the details soon. The third one is Hörverstehen, which is listening skills. So they will play out audio, three types of audio. We will dive into the details later. There will be some questions based on that audio. Again, multiple choice questions here. So the last part is written. So you will be given a topic and you have to write an email on the topic. So the Leseverstehen has 75 points. Sprachbausteine or Grammatik has 30 points. Hörverstehen, listening, has 75 points. And written, so you have to write an email, that has 45 points. Listening skills as well as the writing skills, they have the majority of points. So what I tried to do is really nail the Leseverstehen and Hörverstehen. That's something that you should practice with mock test. Let's come to part 2 of the examination, which is speaking skills. So that is mündliche Prüfung. You will be assigned a partner. Before the oral examination begins, you are given 20 minutes to prepare for the exam. Now, quite important, and I didn't know this before, I thought in those 20 minutes I could speak to my partner, but no, you are in one room, you will be given 3 topics, and you have to prepare for those 3 topics in 20 minutes without speaking with each other. So sometimes your written examination is the day before your oral examination, and you will come to know who your assigned partner is, who will be in the same room as you in the written examination. So you can also ask your partner, hey, like maybe you want to grab a cup of coffee, and then you can prepare for oral examination, because it's not something that you achieve alone, but it's something that you have to perform with your partner. So both of you have to plan, have to have a proper conversation, and then you have to come to a conclusion of that conversation. Are they okay with addressing them as du, or should you say sie? Now this is quite important. You have to pass both the written examination and oral examination separately, and you need 60% in both of these examinations to pass B1 TELC exam. Now we are coming into details of these sections. If you want to not go into the details and skip to the next step, then you can also use the timestamp below. Leseverstehen is divided into 3 parts. That's Tile 1 or Part 1. In this you will be given 5 texts, short text that you have to understand, and then you have to match the theme of the text to what they have given here. Remember, it's not a summary, that's what I thought, but it's kind of, think of it as a title to a newspaper article. So if this were a newspaper article, then what would be the title, right? And you have to match that. So this section has about 25 points, so each question carries about 5 points. Now coming to Tile 2, in this, that's a long test. So you'll get a long test, you have to read through it, and then you will be given 5 questions again with multiple choice, and you have to choose the right option. And in Part 3, you will be given ads. So these are the ads that can appear in newspaper, and you have to go through these ads and match it to the requirements on the other side. When you're reading, make sure that you have a good strategy. So my strategy was, I would first go through the questions to understand what the question is, highlight the important words, then I would go to the text and try to find those themes in that text. This will save you a lot of time. So grammatic is also divided into 2 parts, and in each of the parts you have to choose 10 right grammatic options. So it's slightly different. In the first one, you are given a text and you have to choose the right grammatic form out of the 3 options. And the second one is a bit different. Again, you're given a text, but you have to, from all of these options, pick the right answer for that blank. Now we come to Horeverstehen. So there will be 3 parts in Horeverstehen. For each part, so there will be different kind of audio that will be played. For the first part, 5 short audios will be played. For the second, 1 long audio will be played. And for the third part, again, 5 short audio will be played. Pay attention to the format, do the mock test, and I cannot stress this enough. Don't just do the bookish study, but do as many mock tests as you can to practice for the audio test. And the last part that you have is email writing. So you will be given an email here. It can be formal or informal. So I received informal, was quite lucky, but sometimes you can also receive semi-formal. So pay attention to what pronouns you're using, whether it's half formal or informal. So you will be given an email like this, and it can be from your friend or it can be from your acquaintance. Now you have to write an email replying to the email that is provided to you. So pay attention to the questions that were raised in the email. Is there something that the person is asking? And make sure that you cover those topics, that you cover those questions in your email reply. My strategy to prepare for email was to learn a few things by heart. So for example, what could be the subject line? What could be the starting of the email? Learning few sentences that I can reuse regardless of what the email topic is and what the ending is. I would recommend you all to do the same, and you will find some examples in this book. So they have done a great job when there's a formal and informal. What are some sentences that you can start with and end with? Let's come to the oral examination. Now, I was quite nervous for the oral examination because I didn't get some time to prepare with my partner beforehand. But like I said, you know the name of the partner and you will meet them in the written examination. So please get hold of them and see if you can get a cup of coffee and practice how you will go ahead with the conversation. So the part 1 of the oral examination is very easy to prepare for in advance. This is basically you and your partner will introduce each other. So the instructor asked us to ignore that they are in the room, and we were supposed to meet in a coffee shop and pretend as if we are getting to know each other. So there are some common reoccurring statements that you can prepare for. So first, introduce yourself. Hallo, ich bin Chinmay, ich bin 33 Jahre alt, ich komme aus Indien und ich wohne in Deutschland seit 7 Jahren. Ich arbeite als Marketing Manager bei einer Pharmaunternehmen. For example, so you introduce yourself and then you give your partner the chance to introduce themselves. There are some common themes or questions that you can align on beforehand. So for example, you could ask, woher hast du Deutsch gelernt? You can ask, wohnst du hier mit deiner Familie? Welche Sprachen sprechen Sie oder sprichst du außer Deutsch? So these are some easy questions that you can pose to each other. The second part of oral examination, so this was the toughest. You will be given a theme. So your partner gets opposing view on that theme as compared to you. Those 20 minutes that you get to prepare, you cannot speak with each other. So you have to improvise based on what your partner's reaction is. So in this part, you will be given an opinion. Please mention whose opinion is it. So you can say, hier lesen wir über Claudia zum Beispiel. Sie ist 43 Jahre alt. So start with that, and Claudia's opinion will be shared in that text. And what you can do is you have to summarize that opinion, and then you have to discuss with your partner whether or not you agree with that opinion. The last part of oral examination was also quite easy. So you're given a situation. It could be planning your friend's birthday party or planning a one-day trip, and you are supposed to coordinate some things. You're supposed to have a conversation, and in the end goal is you have a plan. So this was also quite easy, and you have to improvise a bit. You can prepare a few things, but make sure that you also give your partner a chance to communicate and you're not just speaking and blabbering. Make it conversational. Second tip, super important, time management. This is where I made the biggest mistake, and you can learn from my mistake. Please know how much time is allocated for each section. I thought the time management is a bit more flexible. So if you take more time for Leseverstehen, you can adjust it by taking less time for other section. No, that's not how it works. So the answer sheet is divided into the sections, and when the time is up, they will come and tier the section of your answer sheet. So you will not have flexibility here. Please pay attention to how much time is allocated. Let's go through it. So, first part, Leseverstehen and Grammatik. For both of these, you have 90 minutes together. This was my mistake, and I lost a lot of marks because of this, because I thought 90 minutes is just for Leseverstehen. No, it's both of these together. In the Prüfungstraining book, it's quite nice because they specifically tell you how much time do you have for each of those subsections. For audio, so this one is easier to manage because they will play the audio and you know that you have 30 minutes. That's quite okay. You have 30 minutes for these. For writing your email, again 30 minutes, so it was more than enough time for me personally. I think 30 minutes is enough to write an email. So the only part where you really have to pay attention is that Leseverstehen and Grammatik, they are fused together and you have 90 minutes together for both of these sessions. Another tip is that start to prepare well in advance. So don't listen to your friends or those who have given the examination and they're like, oh, 1 month is enough. No, I don't think so. So you need at least 2 to 3 months to prepare for that examination, to just get into that zone of preparing for the examination. I would suggest that you divide your time into manageable chunks. Make sure that you allocate specific time to study for each of these modules, and consistency is the key here. Instead of studying 5 hours over the weekend, study maybe half an hour to 1 hour every day, and studying every day, just getting into that rhythm and that routine will help you a lot. Breaking down the syllabus and your study time into manageable chunks will make sure that you don't feel too overwhelmed with it. Now, I have mentioned it many times and I will mention it again because it is so important. Do your mock examination. Just practice with mock examination. This is super important because mock exams will create an environment, will simulate the exam environment for you, so there are no surprises on the exam day. Don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you finish Grammatik to do the mock examination. Do the mock examination and then find out what are your weaknesses, and then on the way prepare for those weaknesses. When you do mock examination, do it sincerely. So have a timer, simulate the exam environment, and do it as if you were giving the examination. I would say aim to at least do 6 to 7 mock examination so you feel confident about the timing and structure of the examination. Let's talk about motivation. Now, it was hard for me to find the motivation when I did not focus on why. So I would suggest know your why. Why is it that you want to give this German examination? Is it for your German passport? Is it for your work? Is it for your studies? Know your why. This will help you with your intrinsic motivation. And when you have intrinsic motivation, studying becomes less of a chore and more of a mission. My last tip here is try to find a language buddy, a native speaker, to work on your speaking skills and use flashcards to work on your vocabulary. Speaking regularly with your language partner, best if they are native speaker, is the best way to build your confidence and fluency in speaking the language. In many cities, there are tandem groups, there are conversational groups, so you can join these groups and practice your speaking skills. Having a study buddy or study partner helps you to have that someone who will hold you accountable. You can hold each other accountable and motivate each other. Additionally, using flashcard is a fantastic tool to make learning vocabulary fun and easy. You will find many apps that uses flashcard to work on your vocabulary. Find the one that you like and practice your vocab with it. That's it for today. I hope that these tips help you feel more confident and ready for your German examination and you pass your German examination with flying colors. Remember, it's a journey, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so take one step at a time. If you have any questions or advice for others, feel free to comment below. Good luck for your examination. And by the way, if this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Tschüss und bis bald!